The Team Lally Show was previously recorded.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey, stay with us real quick because we're going to have a lot of stuff in this show. In fact, we're going to start it off with some art, Attilio's Random Thoughts. What I want to talk to you about is a book that we read once a year. What is the title of that book, Adrienne?
The title of that book is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then they updated the version of the book. What's the new title with the new version?
It's How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age.
Yeah, so a guy named Dale Carnegie went around and interviewed, 1,000 successful people back in the 20s and 30s and then put all that information into a book. And he was really focused on people skills. Mm-hmm. Because if you read the intro, it talks about, a lot of our challenges come to us in our life and it's all our ability to cooperate, communicate with other human beings, right? That's always the source of our challenges.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what he talks about in the book and what they've done is that, back then when they wrote this book, there were only 3 ways humans communicated. How?
That would be in person, on the phone, or by letter. By letter.
Mm-hmm. I guess they had radio too, so that was more like one-way form of communication.
Yeah.
But again, there was only 4 ways for us to screw up the way that we communicate with human beings. Now, fast forward today with all the technology, how many of the other ways do we have to screw up the way we communicate with people?
Hundreds of ways.
Yeah. Yes. Hundreds and hundreds of opportunities to miscommunicate what it is, your idea in your head to somebody that's receiving. And we always know that a message sent does not equal message received. So if you're going to be communicating with people, this book would be the book that if I'm in sales in any way, shape, or form, and I don't own this book and I'm not reading it, go do something else. Yeah. It's called, what's the name of the book again?
How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age.
If you were to take a look at the top 100 CEOs of the largest companies on the planet, I guarantee you 80% of them will either have that book, know of that book.
That's right.
Yeah, because it's all about the people skills. So that's it. Go get that book, read it. Join companies that read it once a year and have it incorporated into part of their culture. Well, speaking of a team that has that incorporated into their culture, what team is that and what can they go to?
That would be us. Yeah. And we actually just started our reading of this book just this week. Yeah. So we're super excited to bring it back and remind all of our team members who have read it before. And then for our new team members, it's a fresh new read.
And here's my big pet peeve. Audiobooks, that's not reading. That would be like saying, I listened to Michael Jackson albums and now I know how to dance like him and sing like him. No, it's going to take some effort to get that information into your head and then execute on it. So have a real book, own it, and read it once a year.
And highlight it.
Different highlights. Different highlights. Why?
Well, different colors, because you should be reading it every year and just use a different color so you can differentiate the things that stood out one year over the next. And then incorporate it into your life. Talk about it. Take notes on it. Bring it up in discussion. Put it into action. Use it, yeah.
Okay. So I'll leave you with this one nugget from How to Win Friends and Influence People. Go get the book and read it. No, that's not the nugget. The nugget is this. To be interesting, be interested. To be interesting, be interested. What does that mean, Adrienne, in 1 or 2 sentences?
That means take the focus off yourself and put it on others. Ask good questions.
Yeah. Ask questions. Turn always your conversation and focus it onto the other people as opposed to you, blah, 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 blah about you. Ask them to blah, blah, blah about them.
Yes.
Speaking of which, what do you want to talk about? The review or deal of the week?
I want to talk about the deal of the week.
All right. Hey, everybody. We do have a deal of the week in Kapolei. This deal of the week is priced at $875.
Yep.
And what is this deal of the week?
So it's in Mehana. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with 4 parking.
4 parking. And this is what's called a flex unit. No, I didn't just...
Flex unit.
I just didn't have an issue going to the restroom just now. It's FLEX, flex unit.
Yes.
And what that means is that the lower floor can be used for a business.
That's right. And this home is a little over 1,800 square feet, barely lived in. And if you want more information, just give us a call, 799-9596.
Or they can send us an email at info@teamlally.com or go to our website, teamlally, that's LALLY.com.
Yes.
That's our deal of the week, Couple A.
All right. And now I do want to talk about the review.
Okay.
This is from Christine. So Christine says that Laura and Team Lally were a pleasure to work with in helping to secure the sale of our West Side home. The process was smooth and effortless on our end, ha ha ha, thanks to the protocols implemented in the home sale process. I specifically enjoyed the online portal that we were able to track the entire process on.
Yeah.
Laura and Adrian were excellent communicators throughout the entire process, always getting back to me promptly and answering any questions or concerns. We appreciate all the hard work and are thankful to have had them represent us as the seller.
Yeah, I think combined across all the kind of different platforms where you can leave a review, we probably have somewhere between 700 and 800. I know for a fact that just on Google alone, we have over 600. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. So it's a way to interview us without interviewing us. Just go, we provide a high level of service to our clients. Don't take our words for it. Take a look at what our clients have to say about their real estate experiences with Team Lally. Just check us out on Google, and you'll see all of the reviews there. So next up, we want to talk about the biggest mistakes that home buyers are making right now.
Yes. All right. So
number 1.
That they put off getting pre-approved.
No.
And why this is a mistake is that oftentimes buyers will get out there and just start looking.
Yeah.
And they find the perfect home and they're not ready to act on it quickly.
Yeah.
And while they're waiting for this pre-approval from their lender, that home may be scooped up by someone else who already has that pre-approval.
That'd be like if you're single and you go to the club and you got you didn't brush your teeth, your hair is all messy, your hose is all bottle. And you're like, oh, wow, the love of my life is right there, but I can't go up to him or her because I'm not pre-approved and ready to date. All right, same thing with homes. You got to be ready to go. Number 2, holding out for perfection. When you expect to find the perfect home, you could prolong the home buying process by holding out for something better.
There's no perfect home, people.
No perfect home. No perfect spouse, no perfect kids, no perfect nothing. Accept it. Deal with it. Or you could end up paying more for home just because it meets all of your needs.
Okay, the next mistake is buying more house than you can afford.
No way.
So just because that you are approved for a $1 million loan, that doesn't mean that that's what you're comfortable paying every month. And, you got to take into account, your lifestyle, your financial goals. And, you may be more comfortable in a $700,000 or $800,000 loan versus a $1 million loan.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And
the last one, and then we'll bring Bradley on.
All right. The last one is not working with a local real estate agent. Attempting to buy a home without a real estate agent makes the process more arduous. Okay, that's my 50-cent word for today. Translation, hard than it needs to be. A real estate agent can give you professional legal guidance, market expertise, and support, which will save you time, money, and stress. All right, who's up next?
Okay, so we do have some experts that we trust on the line. Who do we want to bring on first?
I think we want to bring on Duke. Duke is the guy that's going to be the guy that's going to reduce your stress when you got properties that you need to spoof up, make spiffy, and make sure that your tenants are spiffy too. Who's that?
That's Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Hey, Duke.
Hey, I'm at home with COVID right now.
Oh, wow.
I feel fine, but I guess I'm not fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
You
So
will
real
be
quick,
soon.
I know you got Bradley on hold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lawn care is the cost of keeping your lawn up while you have a tenant in there, and that's normally an owner's expense. So some owners say, ask the tenant to take care of the lawn.
Uh-oh.
You can't do that.
Nope.
You can't do that because sometimes the tenants are too tired and they're like, I don't want to do the lawn today.
Yeah.
And then it gets so overgrown, that it takes $3,000 to bring it all back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been to court 2 times on this, trying to keep the security deposit from the tenants. Mm-hmm. And the judge actually said, Duke, you've been in here before on this subject, haven't you? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, what happened the last time? And I said that we were supposed to get the owner to pay for it. And he says, there you go. That's my ruling.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. So
Duke, you should know better.
It was pretty embarrassing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. He was like,
well, it's like we advise our clients and then ultimately they decide. And I'm sure that you advised them and then they made their own decision. And then, the judge reminded everybody.
So,
yep.
2 websites we're going to recommend.
Now that owner had to pay for court costs and legal fees.
Plus get the landscaping back up to speed.
Of paying for it. Yep, exactly.
Because they ain't going to rent. So 2 websites we recommend. First one is bussupyard.com. The second one is professionalmaintenanceyard.com. I think so. That's a good lesson. And this is not like theoretical, Duke, right? You've gone over this over and over and over with owners.
I do.
How many
I
properties
argue with
now?
the owners all the time. They don't listen.
They don't listen. They listen to the show, though.
That's my 5-cent review for today.
Yeah, professional landscaping. Good one.
Thank you for the reminder,
Thank you.
Duke. Yeah. Very valuable.
I don't want to keep Bradley on hold too long.
That's okay. We'll bring him on right now. Thank you, Duke.
Thanks, Duke.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that's Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management, and with his friendly reminder that if you are renting that property out, that the lawn care, you got to take care of that as the owner. Like that should be part of that rent.
Speaking of professional care, there are a lot of benefits to working with a local real estate agent. In fact, I was on the phone with a guy named Robert, 30-year veteran, 30-year realtor in the mainland.
And financial advisor.
And a financial advisor. He had a whole bunch of questions, and one of the questions he wants to buy in Hawaii Kai, so he's not sure if he wants something on the water, near the water, can see the water. But he had a big question regarding insurance and flood zones and all of that, and not necessarily is Bradley going to talk about that right now.
But we were excited to make that connection.
But for us as professional realtors, we at least had that connection to the professionals in the different areas so that they can give the best advice for our clients. So let's bring them on. Bradley with Allstate Insurance, what you got for us this week?
All right. So we've been getting a lot of inquiries because many homeowners are getting non-renewed due to roof age. And specifically, the number is 15 years. So if you're getting non-renewed or you know someone that's getting non-renewed and it's due to roof age, Allstate, believe it or not, does not have a specific year that we require you to have your roof being redone. So always give us a call if you know someone that's getting non-renewed or if you're getting non-renewed. We do send out a third-party inspector, and what that third-party inspector is going to look at is the roof, but it's much more lenient. I've been insuring homes that have roofs over 15 years. So some people are saying, you know what, I called 8 companies. They're not going to touch my roof. And this person is actually a famous person. He says, no one wants to touch it.
Yeah.
I went out, I looked at the home. The roof was 16 years old. The house was impeccable, and we got them insured and taken care of. So when you think that you're in a spot where you can't get insurance, give me a call.
Yeah, you initially said rough years, and I thought, what you mean rough years? You mean like my cousin who's a chain smoking, going heavy drinking problem? That kind of rough years? No, you said roof years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I think, too, that depending on the part of the island or the part of the state that you live in, your roof is going to have different types of wear and tear.
Yeah.
So, for example, my house is in Eva Beach, and there's not very much wear and tear on my house, and I'm about 16 years old on my roof.
Yeah.
Never,
it's funny you say that, Adrian, because I went on my roof to take out some wiffle balls from my gutter.
Yeah.
And on the east side of my roof, I got handfuls of granules in the gutter. So then I started to realize, I guess, even if my roof is 7 years old, I guess I can understand what they say granular loss.
Yeah.
But I go to the west side of my roof, and there's 0 granules in there. So I know that the east-facing side of my roof gets beaten up much more than the side of the roof that faces the leeward side.
The leeward side. So the lesson, the life lesson there is it's better to watch. It's easier to. What's better, sunsets or sunrises?
Oh, I like sunrises.
Yeah. So it's just the side of the home. If you have a lot of rain, and
a lot of wind,
then you're gonna have extra wear and tear. If your kids keep throwing their balls up on the roof, they're gonna be going up there running around on the roof. Tell them, get off the roof. I don't want what is it? Roof years.
That's right.
How do you're ruining my roof years. Get off the roof. So and that's causing people to have a non-renewal. And
but that's interesting that that Bradley's brought this up, because I think that there's probably a lot of people that are facing this issue.
Yeah.
So Allstate has the solution.
Well,
Allstate and Bradley specifically.
A lot of times too is that one of the tips you're giving out to people too is that when you go to buy a house, you got to take a look at that roof.
Yeah, just be sure, even if the house isn't that old.
Yeah.
Just double check.
Check.
Just based on, like the weather and the wear and tear.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Bradley.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's Bradley Maruyama of Allstate Insurance. He is featured under the Experts We Trust tab on our website.
Yeah, we have a ton of resources there on our tab. Mm-hmm. And the Experts We Trust is a good one because we have a lot of people asking us, do you know this kind of person? I need this kind. I need that. I need this. I need that. Do you know any good people for that? And you don't even need to call or talk to us.
Just go to that tab. They're on our website. Just go to our website,
teamlally.com, Experts We Trust. Speaking of another expert we trust, she will rate, if you just listen to what she's going to say in the next 2 minutes, your IQ will jump because she's the
mortgage genius.
She's the mortgage genius.
Jodie Tanga of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Pacific Rim Mortgage.
You're just copying everything I say.
I'm copying everything you say. Jodie, what you got for us this week?
I am going to kind of bounce off of what Bradley was talking about.
Yeah.
So in terms of the age of the roof, now what we're seeing is that is something that underwriters are asking based on pictures, not only that they see on the appraisal, but also anything that they can find on their own resource.
Yeah.
So, real listing agent photos used.
Yeah.
And provided on MLS, as well as anything else that they can find that is they're looking at that. And if the age, if the roof looks at all older, they're going to ask for the age of the roof, and then they're going to basically make sure that the insurance company knows the age of the roof and the insurance company is still insuring the property.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so because a lot of claims on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's added a lot of an entire new phase or milestone that has to occur, because before we could just email Bradley a quote.
Yeah.
Based on property address, and now he can't really get us the quote until he sees the appraisal.
Gotcha.
So they're being extra thorough now on this whole roof situation.
On the roof thing.
Right. So when do we order the appraisal usually?
I would say usually it's going to be after the home inspection.
Yeah.
After that's been approved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So if you get into escrow on a Monday and your home inspection is scheduled for Sunday, the following Sunday, and your J1 period is 11 days, and then something comes up on Sunday, and you're the buyer says, okay, actually, we're going back to the seller because we want to see if they're going to do X, Y, Z for us.
Yeah.
Based on the findings of the home inspection. And that takes another 5 days. Then what's happening is we're not even ordering the appraisal until 15 days in. And then even if the appraisal turnaround is 7 days, Now we're 22 days in before we can even get the homeowner's insurance quote.
Holy moly.
And then, like what Bradley
Holy
was saying,
roof, Batman.
Like the roof may be okay, but if they use Bradley, it'll be fine. But if they go with some other insurance company, they may not be okay with the age of the roof, even if the roof is just fine and there's no issues.
Yeah.
So
right. So it's not even about like, oh no, the roof is sound and there's no leaks and there's no water damage or anything like that. But it's about the age of the roof, and it is a scrutiny that the insurance companies are doing now. Mm-hmm. And so the moral of the story is aside from, of course, being informed about the roof that you're looking at, it's also going to be, your home inspection has to be like days after your offer gets accepted.
So do it right away.
It just makes it really,
This is why you need a professional realtor, because for us and our team and everybody on it, we know that as soon as you get a fully because you're going to have somewhere between 10 and 15 days to get this home inspection done,
and
get the results back, and negotiate. So you got to, like, as soon as you can, you got to get that inspection done right away. So at the end, you're not hearing this famous R&B classic. The roof is too old. The escrow gotta stop because we gotta fix the roof. So, and you know what? Here's the deal for us. If you work with us in us helping you buy a house, we have our own drone.
That's right.
If you don't have a good drone footage of that or video, we'll get it for you before you get into escrow, and if it's okay with the seller and all of that, because we have that technology, and we'll do it for free.
Now, Jodie, before we wrap things up with you, I know that the rates have kind of dropped or dipped a little bit. Let's just touch on that before we take a break.
What does that mean?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Give us some good news.
Yep. So we are seeing that all signs are pointing to that the overnight rate will be coming down in September. As we all know, based on future expectations, they already kind of get baked into the current market. So VA loans have come down to about 5.99%. I mean, actually, today we're almost at 5.875 at 0 points.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah. And then for conventional, we're hovering around at 0. Yeah, we're so close. We're like the tranche is right in between 6.5 and 6.625.
Okay.
So, there are still some major, I say this every time, but every month, there's going to be major core inflation data and unemployment data. And those are the two biggest pieces of the puzzle as far as like they need to stay on track. Inflation has to get closer to 2%. Unemployment has to get closer to 4%. Unemployment's hovering around 3.2%, which is actually the highest it's been since November of 2021.
Wow.
I believe was the statistic. Yeah. So we're getting there, and that is going to give buyers more purchasing power. And everyone is just kind of praying for it, but that is also going to not only give buyers more purchasing power, but it's going to have a lot more people enter the market as a buyer.
So now's the time to get in the market before those rates drop it even further.
Yeah, so be careful what you wish for. You might get it. Lower interest rates means more competition for the property, which creates upward pressure on pricing.
Yes.
Keep this in mind, folks. Breaking all of this down into very simple things like, what does this mean to me? Is that when you get out there to get into this home buying market, you can just keep this in mind. You can always go back and refinance your interest rate, but you cannot go back and renegotiate your purchase price.
Right.
So
that's right. Well, thank you, Jodie. For your tip of the week on the roofs and the interest rates.
Yeah. Thanks, Jodie.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Hey, one of the things I'll say about Jodie is that she's really good about gathering as much data up front to get a solid pre-approval.
So you're prepared.
as the interest rates drop, there's going to be more competition out there. And so you got to be ready to go. It's like a 100-yard Olympic sprinter. Are you just like, I drank all night. I woke up, Ubered over to the stadium and went to the start line? No, you got to be ready to go at the start, which means you see something you like. You got to be ready to write offer. Like you got to be ready to write the offer like that day.
All right. Well,
what else, Adrian?
We are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Sean Tiwanak of Appraise Hawaii.
Yeah.
Learn when to get an appraisal and understand the appraisal process.
Yeah.
Plus, we will debunk misconceptions about property value and explore what affects property worth.
So stay with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, talking with the only real estate agent in your market I recommend. Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now more than ever, buyers and sellers need an expert to navigate this ever-changing market. And what do you do to stand out?
Hey, Sean, we are a team with over 500 plus 4.9 star reviews, over 1,600 transactions under belt, and 20 years in the business. It's going to take a lot of resources to get a home sold today.
What kind of programs do you offer?
Sean, we offer the guaranteed sale, instant offer close in 12 days, $10K for upgrades, love it or leave it, no hassle listing. No matter what situation the client is in, we've got solutions.
Great update. Thank you for keeping us informed. Put the most experience and the best marketing to work for you. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com.
How would you touch up your home if you had an extra $10,000? Would you paint, fix the lawn, make small repairs? All of the above will increase the value of your home if you're planning on selling. That's exactly why my friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu, offered a 10K program. Carl didn't hesitate to take advantage of this advance to fix up his Makakilo investment property. And good thing, the repairs he made with the extra money put the home in escrow just 2 weeks later. Team Lally uses programs like the Team Lally 10K to guarantee your home sells at the price and a deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. They also know that life happens, so if needed, they'll let you out of the contract at any time. So when you need to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama, trust Adrian and Attilio of Team Lally to do the job for you. Call 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. Visit teamlally.com. Spelled Lally, L-A-L-L-Y.
Taking one cash offer for your home doesn't have to be your only option. I'm Barbara Corcoran, and especially in today's current market, having a local real estate agent who offers great marketing and options that are customized to fit your needs is smart. In Honolulu, the agents I trust are Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. They can give you a guarantee to sell your home, flexible fees, or up to $10,000 in cash to help with repairs. Get the option that's right for you. Go to teamlally.com.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today is a proud Kamehameha Schools graduate, earned a business degree from I want to say like UWU, but it's not UWU. It's UH West Oahu, and became a registered respiratory therapist at KCC. With deep roots in Hawaii, he was inspired by his mother, a real estate broker and appraiser in the 70s and 80s.
Starting as an appraisal research assistant in 2006, he dedicated 15 years to the field. In 2020, he earned his appraiser certification and revitalized his mother's company, Appraise Hawaii, in her honor. Please welcome a dedicated professional committed to excellence in real estate, Sean Tiwanak.
Hey, Sean, you there?
I am here.
All right.
Hey, Adrian, Attilio. Nice to be here today.
Yes.
Hey, welcome to the show.
We're excited to have you and to talk about
you.
Appraisals, because this is, like
first of all,
everyone gets one when they own a home or refinance a home, and there's probably other reasons that they would need it.
Even like what's that guy in Austin Powers, the bald head guy with the cat with no hair?
Mr. Evil?
Was that Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil?
Anyway, even Dr. Evil, he had to get one appraisal on his extinct volcano because, he financed it. And so if you had to appraise Dr. Evil's extinct volcano, what would you appraise it at? How would you get the comps on that?
That's an interesting question because you bring up an issue. With in appraisal, you think you want to generally stay within your area, but depending on the type of property, in this case a volcano, you may have to look outside that area.
Yeah, like Costa Rica,
volcanoes. You might have to look at the mainland.
Volcano to volcano.
You have wherever there are volcanoes, you have to expand your market area to do that.
To get the comps.
Be the same case with shopping malls or churches and things like that.
Yeah. So let's talk about appraisals. Let's start out. Well, they got those questions over here, but let's break it down. What is an appraisal?
Well, the first thing I think to mention is it is not an exact science.
Yeah.
It is really boils down to it is a formulated opinion. So it's not necessarily a fact. It is, like price is a fact, sales price is a fact, but value is always an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sean, you know what? I think I'm going to use that with my daughter. If she bring home one boyfriend, I'm going to say, the guy get bad credit, no more job. I have a formulated opinion that you should no longer see him anymore.
Yeah, he has very little value in your eyes.
We got no comps on this kid. Get him out of here.
Well, to touch on something you mentioned earlier, is there's a lot of reasons to get an appraisal, and generally, people are familiar with purchasing a home and then needing an appraisal, or maybe they're getting a HELOC
or refinancing,
or refinancing, cash out, or reverse mortgage, and those kinds of things. Nowadays, a lot of if your loan to value is low, meaning your value is a lot greater than what you owe on your loan, you don't require appraisals for a lot of those loans anymore. But when you have a higher loan to value, or you have a very expensive home, over $2 million, you're going to require an appraisal for that. And that's typically what people encounter. And what our job is to make sure that the client and the bank, for example, a bank wants to lend money, but they want to be sure that the value is going to cover the loan in case something happens. So if someone defaults.
Yeah,
so they rely on us to give them.
There's no banks out there. Loaning money on houses for less. If the house is $1 million, they're not going to give you a $2 million loan.
They've got to make sure that it's in alignment.
This is what happened in the early 2000s when there was a real estate bubble. And in 2008, when there was a big crash, actually there's some members of Congress put the blame based on appraisers' shoulders, saying that values were too high. And part of the reason for that is because there was a lot of influence and a lot of collusion and, people trying to get higher values. The banks want to sell loans, so they try to influence that and sometimes try to pay people money. And my mom was one of those people who would never take the bribe. That's just unethical, right? And it is against what we call USPAP, and that's a universal standards of professional appraisal practice. And that's
talk about what's been put in place, because now it's a different system for hiding appraisals. Talk about that real quick.
I mentioned that is because now it's become very important for the appraiser to be independent, unbiased, uninfluenced, and objective. And that's why a bank or a lender will seek the services of an appraisal, because they want an independent valuation so they can be sure that they're entering into a good deal. And they mentioned that actually goes and applies to a lot of people that are purchasing homes or selling homes to each other, friends, or they're not going through a real estate agent. So sometimes we get calls from people like that, and they want to know, what price should I sell it at, or is this a good deal? For me, I make sure I'm not paying too much.
But correct me if I'm wrong. When the bank needs to hire an appraisal, they're not like, call Charlie, just get him one case green bottle. He gonna give the value. They have to call a third party,
and then the third party decides.
So that is correct.
Now, get to pick your favorite appraiser.
Mortgage lending. Yeah, that's a difference between mortgage lending and personal appraisals, like for anybody in the public out there. Yeah. So nowadays, since 2008, they had new the legislation that had taken place that prevents a lender or an appraiser or a bank from communicating at all. Yeah. So they've created this new industry called appraisal management companies, and are third party. Yeah. And they act as a go-between between the lenders. So there isn't any contact, there isn't any kind of influence, and appraiser independence is a very key thing. In fact, we have to certify those in our reports.
It's kind of like the dating game, from the 70s, and like you get the bank, and then you get the 3 appraisers behind the curtain, and they're like, appraiser number 1. What is the most humorous situation you've been in when you're looking at a home? And it's like the dating game. No, they don't do that. It's next up, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And,
it's random.
I think the important thing is, as an appraiser, who do we represent? Yeah. Okay, so in any situation, I'm never representing the buyer. I'm not representing the seller. I'm not representing the bank, although I take those people's interest into account, and it's very serious because at the end of the day, I'm writing a report for an underwriter, and they need to understand what I'm. So, but who do I represent?
Switzerland.
And I got this from my sister. We talked about it.
Switzerland.
I represent the house. Yeah. I'm speaking. I'm the voice for the
voice of the house. Or the home.
The house that has no voice of its own. Yeah. So essentially, I'm representing the house, the dwelling, the land, the condo, and with the type of certification that I have as a certified residential appraiser, I'm only allowed to do single family type dwellings up to 4, like income properties, and
so
beyond
you don't
that,
do
like
commercial
an apartment building. No. You need that's a general.
Yeah, specialization. Yeah. Focus.
So Sean, I know that we briefly touched on reasons why people would need appraisals. Let's go through all of them.
Well, let's go through most of them,
or as many as we can think of.
It's only a 1-hour show.
I think it's good to know. Yeah, I think it's a really good thing because people don't always realize they should get one.
Yes. So
wait a minute. Before we get started, I have a recording of the houses that you've appraised. Here's one house. My owners, they went and paid me every 7 years. They addressed all the leaks. They really took care of me. I really feel good about myself. And I really feel in good shape. I've been working out. I look pretty jacked up. Sean, can you give me on good value? And then here's the other one. Oh, these owners, they're so lazy. My roof is leaking. Never have paint job in almost 20 years already. And then, that back bathroom, the bucket been leaking since 1986. But do your best you can, Sean. I really appreciate it.
You guys have been in the business a long time, and I know you've seen it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
We see it all. We see the most beautiful homes, the $28 million homes, and then the homes that are almost a nightmare to walk into, and you want to take a bath afterward because it's
you got to leave the shoes on.
Safe to, not even. I was in the house yesterday, and don't step on the deck, and it's like a 20-foot drop, and.
It's like a safety hazard.
Over a little bit. I watch every step. So you got to. You see it all.
It could be a dangerous. This could be a dangerous field, depending on the homes that you're walking through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get
Well, you never know. There can be people living there that aren't supposed to be there.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that once in a while, I've had to accompany people on appraisals just because.
Get some reef shoes. You tell them I have a foot condition. Oh, what's your foot condition? I don't want to walk out of here with looking like I'm part of the Blackfoot tribe.
So let's go through some of the reasons why people would need to get an appraisal. So we've already talked about
round
it.
Robin.
Yep. So
go ahead. The first thing you mentioned already, we kind of touched on, was if somebody is buying or purchasing a property and it's with friends, or they're paying cash and they're not using a bank.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to get an appraisal just to make sure they're not paying too much, and I've had those. Otherwise, for personal reasons, divorce is a common one, and people want to settle.
Divorce.
Usually, you need two. You need two appraisals. Usually, one from each side.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, you can.
Usually,
you can. It depends on if they're going to go to the judge or route or not. Sometimes I get contacted by a couple that just want to work it out with themselves. They're cordial and they just want to get an idea of market value. And then that's what we provide.
I saw what Sean did. He call up the wife. Hello, this is Sally. I'm gonna be Sally Tiwanak. I'm gonna be doing your appraisal. Then he call the husband. Hey, this is Sean. I'm gonna be doing your appraisal.
Yeah. You know what? I got to tell you something, though. You know, it is very uncomfortable doing a lot of these type of personal appraisals because somebody is always unhappy.
Yeah.
You know,
they want
one party is not good. They're both not going to be happy.
No, that's his appraisal. No, that's her appraisal. Okay.
Yeah, the value.
So divorce,
for one person, not too good for another.
Purchase, refinance, HELOCs.
Purchase.
What else?
Yeah,
and then the most recent one that Sean did was a time of death.
Of death.
What is that?
That's right.
Let's talk about the time of death.
That's what we call an estate appraisal. So when somebody inherits a property, whenever they dispose of it, and it could be in a trust, or it could just be in their name, and when they dispose of it, they're going to be having to take care of any capital gains of that tax of that property on the sale of it,
the proceeds.
Or also very important, if you're using it as a rental, and you needed to get this appraisal because as of the date of death or whenever you inherited that property, it sets a new tax basis. So this is one of the few times that the federal government actually gives you money. So if a house is let's say you want to dispose of it and it's $1 million, well, you got to take care of that $1 million capital gain. But if you inherited it and it was $800,000, you only have to take care of a couple $100,000 of that. And I think the government gives you a couple $100,000 off of the top anyway.
Nice.
So for tax
savings, it is really in your interest. So even if it's in a trust, and I see this a lot, where there's 2 or 3 or 4 family members that own a property, and 2 of them want to get cashed out. So they want a date of death appraisal because they're going to need that for the taxes that the people that are getting cashed out, and they also want a current market one, so they know what to charge their family members.
So there's all kind of appraisals. You know, if you need one, you're going to give us a call, give Sean a call. But let's
I just wanted to make sure that people knew when they needed to get one because you may not even know this time of death thing.
One of the things we recommend is getting an appraisal if you're listing it for sale and making it part of the documents to market the property.
Yeah, certified pre-owned.
Yeah, I do.
Certified pre-owned.
I want to make this point.
Yeah.
This is to me, it's very important because I do a lot of estate work, and people call me, and sometimes I'm doing appraisals when they inherited the date of death was 1994. I've done it. I just finished one today, 2011. So as soon as you have a family member that passes away, the sooner you do the appraisal, the better it is. It's a more accurate appraisal. It's easier to do. So, and it's gold when you finally need to use it. Even if it's years down the line, it's gold to you.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I was told it's gold to you by a CPA. You know, as we were discussing all of this. So, I just urge people to get that appraisal done right away, if possible, as soon as possible. And I do have clients that call me within weeks. Yeah, and that's the best situation.
Well, somebody's hearing
this.
That's
really good advice, Sean.
Sure they're gonna call you.
Yeah, don't drag your feet on it and wait until you need to sell the home 10, 15, 20 years later.
Sean does not have a hot tub that takes him back in time. That's a movie.
I mean, he can go look back, but it's just like what he's saying is that the accuracy is going to be so much better if you just take care of it right away.
Do it currently,
yeah.
And let's talk about
the data is not as robust. Like if you look back at MLS, beyond like 2011 or 2000s or 1990s, you don't have all the photos, so you don't.
Well, the 90s,
you have to make assumptions.
I don't even think did we even have the. It was not even online back then.
We rode covered wagons and by torch. That's how we showed homes back then. Well,
the MLS allows you to go back to 1993.
Oh, nice.
They never get rid of that data. But the problem is you're on all the photos, so you can't really verify the quality, conditions, the type of upgrades.
So you do your best you can.
Yeah. And that might be something we want to talk about, actually. What do we look at, right?
Yeah, let's talk about what affects value because this show goes fast. In fact, we only got about 8 minutes left. But let's talk about what are the things that affect values on properties. Go.
Well, the first thing is the lot size and the type of zoning that it is.
Okay.
That determines a lot of things. Whether you can have an ADU or not, if it's single family, or if it's condo per se. But the key thing is always going to be gross living area, which we call GLA, and the room count, primarily bedrooms and bathrooms. Those have the highest value because they offer what we call greater utility. Yeah. There's a big difference between a 2-bedroom house and a 3-bedroom house because the average family generally, 2-bedroom houses aren't as common, first of all, but generally 3-bedroom house is kind of a minimum. Mm-hmm. So you see that there's a more marginal difference between 3 and 4-bedroom. And then once you get above these 5, 6, 10, 11-bedroom, it marginally actually it diminishes the value of those.
But there's a big difference between the 2 and the 3-bedroom, is what you're saying. Just 'cause...
Yeah, it can be actually detrimental to have a 11-bedroom house. It's over improved, and your buyers are going to be different. So those are the main factors. But we look at what we call quality and condition, and those are two different things. Quality relates to the type of architecture and the way it's built, single wall versus custom home or houses that have external ornamentation and a little bit higher degree of construction. And we have a rating system from 1 to 6 that we use. And then the other is condition. Brand new house versus second owner versus a house that is starting to see a little bit of deferred maintenance but looks pretty new. Yeah. And then you're just what we call kind of like average home where it hasn't had any major upgrades in the last 10 or 15 years. That'd be like a C4, all the way down to C6 where it is not habitable anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, you put that into context, is that house like is that house like dad bod, or is that house all jacked up?
Now, Sean, when you come across homes that have added bedrooms and bathrooms without proper permitting,
talk about that. No more permit.
Can you put a value to it, because you can see it's there and owners can use it? But
how are non-permitted areas of any home treated in an appraisal?
That's a great question. Because that's why a mortgage lender, for example, and we're talking about mortgage lending for a lot of our stuff, that is why they hire us, because oftentimes, and then a lot in Hawaii, right, there are people who have living areas that are non-permitted. Yeah. So what is on public record, does it match what really exists? So it's our job to go out there and actually physically measure and see what is really there and report that to the lender. Now, it depends on the underwriting guidelines for the individual lender, but I would say 98% of the time they just want to know what's there. Even if it's different, we just have to state that it's different. And then how is it being marketed? You guys put things on MLS a certain way, and that's how it's being marketed. So that is that really sets the whole market value.
Well, if we market it as the tax records don't match the house, but there's 4 bedrooms, tax records say 3. So there's physically you can see that there's an extra bedroom. Do you get extra credit for that 4th bedroom, or you just have to?
Is it counted in the appraised value, the 4th bedroom?
Yes, you can. It depends on if it is consistently built like the rest of the dwelling in terms of finishing and construction and materials and quality. And the main thing is there's only been one instance that I can think of since 18 years, whatever, I know of, where a lender was so strict on their guidelines. It may have been a certain type of loan, and I remember this real clearly. There were 5 bedrooms in the home, but it was only permitted for 3. So the lender would only accept what was permitted, and that's pretty rare anymore. Oh, wow. And that even goes for accessory dwelling units. The Fannie Mae changed their guidelines last year. Even so, you don't have to be permitted anymore to get a mortgage loan on a non-permitted accessory dwelling unit, or what we used to call an ohana unit, but that's different. Yeah. So the lending guidelines, I think, are trying to follow the trends of, society in general. It is so common. People need homes. They need housing. We don't have the land here. And so there tends to be more density in neighborhoods. And it's national. It's not just a thing here. So, that's a good news for people. I'm not saying don't get your, don't
get permitted
work. You should get your work permitted. That is always the best. And there's probably other repercussions. And you could potentially run into issues with insurance. Oh, you could that too, but you could run into some issues with insurance coverage, or perhaps you do have some lenders with their underwriting guidelines that are stricter than others. Back.
Yeah, we had one of our team members had a disgruntled neighbor, and they reported to DPP, and it's been a complete nightmare trying to get this thing fixed.
Yeah.
So get your stuff permitted, even if it counts in the appraisal. There's other problems that can come along with that.
That's absolutely correct. I do know people that have, like you said, DPP has been involved because of neighbors, and that's the Department of Planning and Permitting for the folks out there that don't know what that is. But you want to get your work permitted and do it right.
Yeah. All right, Sean. So again, appraisals. If you had to share one last thing about appraisals, if you could, let's just sum it up. If this whole radio show got erased and you only had a sentence or two to keep, and go inside the time capsule to be opened by Charles Heston. Charles, I forgot what his last name. He was in Planet of the Apes, and he's over there and he sees the Statue of Liberty. He's opening up the time capsule, and then inside it is a message from the appraiser, Sean Tiwanak, from 150 years ago. What would be that advice?
Be nice to your appraiser. It's a hard job.
Yeah.
And sometimes things take a little bit longer than you want.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of data out there, and AI and mass appraisal models and all of these things, but nothing beats the expertise of a human walking into that home and seeing what's really there.
And clear all the stuff away so you can see the place, right? Just when Sean comes.
Yeah, and it's a shrinking field. Yeah. So, and part of that has to do with technology. But at the end of the day, it is. You
have to have the human touch.
Be nice, because we work a lot. We work hard.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sean, for being on the show.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys.
Yes.
Thank you for all that information. Thanks, Sean.
Okay, guys, have a great day. Mahalo and aloha to everyone out there. Thank you.
All right, that's Sean Tiwanak of Appraise Hawaii.
Appraiser Hawaii. If you want to get a hold of Sean, all you got to do is give us a call, 808-799-9596. Send us an email, info@teamlally.com, or what's the website, Adrian?
Teamlally.com.
Well, thanks for listening. No, wait, that's your line. You say it again. You started from the beginning. I'm ripping off her lines here.
Yeah, stop stealing my lines. Well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jodie, Derek, and Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pitter Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with the Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson, Fine Line Paintworks.
Scott with Zero S Hawaii.
Amphi, the Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law. I'm saying it like how you're saying it.
Rhino, Hawaii Unified.
Janice, Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio with Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just make 3 snaps and go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Yee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed
Sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.